Greetings and welcome to Armored Core Reforged, the series where I take the preset ACs of the game and optimize them to the best of my abilities, preferably making them viable in PvP. The process will consist of me going over the original build, then I will go over the upgraded version and all the thought behind it. And then finally, me and a volunteer will do a final PvP test to see which version of the build is indeed superior. As well as after this video goes up, I will be making a community post where you guys can vote as to which preset will be the next featured on Reforged. But all that said, you have yourself a very good one, and enjoy. Greetings and welcome back to Reforged. Last episode we took a look at V7 Guidance, and in that video of course I asked y'all to give it a new name, and I think I'd dub the Clairvoyance. I think Clairvoyance is the most fitting name. It is a step up indeed from Guidance itself, and I think it is most epic indeed. Thank y'all for the epic names. As well as after that video, I made a poll asking y'all which V.III we are to take a look at next, and y'all voted for V.III. So here we are. Alrighty, and the Barren Flower AC is an interesting kiting type of medium tetrapod, as we have a mixture of kinetic and energy-based weapons. And for our primary weapons, we have the Rensetsu RF, a super solid medium range, constant stagger, high stagger build rifle. Its fire rate isn't the fastest, but honestly its bullet velocity, and honestly because of its slow fire rate, it kind of simulates an infinite flurry of bullets, as your other weapons will probably go on overheat or cooldown or reload or what have you, and come back and this will probably still be firing. Either way, this is super good for stagger, pretty damaging on direct hit, and overall makes for one of the best, and honestly in my opinion, the best kiting or medium range assault rifle. And then next we have the 670 PR plasma rifle. This is an interesting choice, as plasma's projectile speed normally isn't very high unless you're using specific charge attacks like on the Vasan. Its AoE potential is great. As you can see, the charge attack is much like a shotgun spread and is very solid. So yeah, it makes it for a good close range, as our other rifle is better for more medium range. Although of course having two weapons in two different ranges can get often a little challenging and tricky when it comes to your FCS specialization. And for the shoulder bounce, for our kinetic shoulder missile launcher, we have the CNT, aka the Cunt, aka probably the weakest and most useless weapon in the entire game. Not only is its reload time 12 seconds, its damage is okay, but its guidance is horrible. It just tends to miss a lot of the time, hitting other things, going way off target. I could see this maybe being kind of useful in a 3v3 scenario. If you have two of these, you're a support player, and you just shoot into the mosh pit, maybe you'll be able to get some good value, but honestly, you could bring almost anything else, and it'd be just way better. The ultimate optimization for this weapon is to ditch it. And then lastly, we have the vertical plasma missiles. Super good for getting that constant stagger buildup, or at least keeping your stagger buildup up. Its damage is okay, its stagger buildup isn't the greatest, but it is good for keeping the stagger meter up, as it's incredibly hard to dodge considering it's vertical, so it's always going to get near you, and it has its, of course, like proxy dead type of AoE effect, which will more or less guarantee it landing. It'd be kind of nice if more of a AoE effect was on the normal explosive vertical missiles, otherwise they're just useless, but this is very good for keeping the stagger meter up at all times. For the frame parts, we have nothing specific that gives our build a defining edge, although of course we have the VP424 tetrapod legs, which are often referred to as the medium weight tetrapod legs, although they're incredibly heavy nonetheless, which pretty much makes them heavyweight anyway. They can be solid when making a build where you rely on boosting in hover mode, as you can tread quite the distance, but outside of that niche, they're basically just other variants of the Viral legs. For inner parts, we have the Flugel booster, a very solid all-rounder type of booster, if you don't mind the weight and lack of quick boost thrust, or natural thrust anyway. Yeah, kind of good for all-roundedness. Very solid for melee type builds if you're a little bit of a heavier lad and you need the generous weight to quick boost reload, ideal weight anyway. As its melee attack and thrust is great, and EN consumption is goated. Although given our build has no melee, that's kind of useless. For FCS, we have the PO1, aka the worst FCS in the game. I gave Shadow the option for the PO5, or the Walt, but he denied for historical accuracy, you see. And for generator, we have the VE20C, which will definitely boost the damage of our plasma rifle, but overall it's a solid generator for this type of build. Capacity is very up there, our EN load is not too close to shortfall, so our regen won't be so bad. A solid generator for this type of build. Although preferably you stack in more energy weapons, or better energy weapons to get more out of it, but it is what it is. And then lastly, Pulse Armor, a fine addition. And when it comes to the playstyle, any range works, as all of them are garbage. Go into hover mode, and then, fire out your rockets or your missiles, and just spray and pray all you have until they are staggered and die. Pretty solid self-explanatory gameplay indeed. Alrighty, that is the original build. Let's go over Reforged.
これがレクイエムだ。
Here we are, Reforged. For the weapons, I ended up keeping the Rensetsu RF, but I ended up switching the plasma rifle to the laser rifle LRA, as it is very, very solid in its travel speed, making it a fine medium range weapon, which fits with the rest of our type of build and synergy. And yeah, its damage is great. It's one of the best, and it's probably the best energy type of kiting weapon, pretty much the Rensetsu's counterpart when it comes to energy-based weapons. For the shoulder mounts, I ended up switching the useless missile launcher to the Javelin Beta, which is an absolutely goated choice for medium-range missile launchers. It comes back pretty quick. Takes a little bit to lock on, but honestly not that bad. Well worth it, as it does pull off the master flank, going around, building up lots of stagger. Very subtle, very epic indeed. And then lastly is keeping the vertical plasma missile, as I find it to be the best energy-based missile launcher, especially with its purpose of keeping the stagger meter constantly up. Very, very nice. Pairs very nicely with our other weapons indeed. And for the frame parts, Viral Head, Mind Alpha Core, Ephemeral Arms, and Viral Legs, as we're going to be in the same type of speed threshold either way once we pack on the better weapons and inner parts, as when we're even using the VP tetrapod legs. Our speed is pretty much going to be in the same type of threshold of 80 to 70, pretty much 80 nonetheless, considering we're only 1 point below, so we might as well pack on the extra muscle indeed. And for the inner part, switching to the Coral Booster, as super good for tetrapods. Its natural thrust allows us to move around decently fast, upwards thrust allows us to get into the air very fast, to go and hover and get the high ground above our enemies, and its quick boost thrust being max allows us to get quite the distance, especially when in hover mode dodging. Will be very maneuverable, which heavier boys like us definitely need. For FCS, switching to the Walt, as we are a medium range build, as well as the generator to Coral, as we're going to need it to run all of this gear and float in the sky for long periods of time, and keeping the expansion pulse armor. I did my best to keep the spirit of the build alive with the mixture of kinetic and energy-based weaponry and a more lighter, heavier tetrapod. When it comes to the playstyle, again, just get above your enemy, stick within your range, and just, which is now actually a medium range, so we can actually take advantage of our FCS, being able to lock on hella fast. And yeah, just spray and pray until they are dead. Get a lot more value out of your missile launchers this way, and yeah, they should die in due time. Yes, this is Reforged. Me and Shattered will now be doing the PvP test. Shattered will be piloting the original, I will be piloting Reforged, and we shall battle to see if the upgrades are indeed worthy. Enjoy. I'm debating on whether or not I want to take like another back seat for this, again, tournament, and just try to train as many people as possible. Trying to make the event as accessible, get people that don't, you know, or maybe aren't so confident in PvP, and maybe help them get their builds ready.
The lightweight core and the heaviest arms in the game, complimenting them for no reason. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy too, dude, with these legs.
What
with
the fuck is balance?
With the upgraded assortment, you're still around like 380, 370 base speed with both the heavy and those Viral, or those tetra.
The only thing these arms really have going from them is just high arm weight load, which is hardly ever useful.
Oh, yeah.
I can count exactly one time I ran the arm limit.
I can smell
I was when doing double carousels. That's it. That's the only time.
Yep. Oh no. These infinite missiles that don't do shit. They're coming for my PP.
No.
Dear God.
Instantly have 3 weapons.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, dude, the ultimate upgrade to that build is just purging it, getting rid of that piece of shit.
Alright, my generator is so bad, my FCS is so bad.
No, your FCS is OP. I'll stagger one day,
I have no punish. What did I do when I punish you? I'm just going to kick you. That's it. That's my only option.
Dear God.
There we go, kick you. There we go. Actually, I'm this slow, so I'm proud of that. I have also. Huh? I thought he would intentionally want to have it, knowing this fucking guy.
It's not as not close as I thought it'd be. It's pretty heat. Although I should probably do a better job sticking him for medium range.
I have 18 health.
No, you need not. You believe in something bigger. Cow lottery.
I had 18 health. I was like, this is not it.
But I had 1,300 health, so it's not that bad. That's Plasma's doing some work, but you know, it's fucking like, dude.
That's about the only thing doing anything.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the Preface is also just epic sauce, but you know, it's only so much one can do.
BARREN Flower is a very good name for an AC.
What was it? What's it?
So BARREN Flower is a very good name for AC. I love his AC name.
That is pretty dope.
Ba, 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 ba.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Ricky Rat.
I just
Ricky
do
Rat.
this.
No. Dear God.
Like you out.
You Ricky Rat, how dare you? My Schmeat.
Ow, that hurt.
Not enough. Not enough. How dare you, Rick, my rat? My Schmeats.
That's it. That's 2 R3 and 9 health. It's over. Yeah.
Oh, my Schmeat. What an AC. What a lad. Probably the worst missile launcher
What
in
a
the game.
great AC. It was my favorite AC in the game now.
I would agree. Alrighty, that is it for this episode of Reforged. If you have a new name for this AC, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I will reveal my choice in the next episode. And yeah, I'll have Shattered's art projects as well as my other buddies linked in the description again, as well as the Xbox Fight Club Discord. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next episode of whatever. Have a good one for now. Peace out.